Are we live? Oh, we are live. We are live. Look at that.
It
dude.
says
It's 7:00, right on the dot.
well, actually 28 seconds.
It's better than 4 hours like that one show.
Yeah.
So, you know what you should do?
Mm-mm.
It's Monday. You should be watching us.
Fucking Monday. Actually, not a bad Monday. Right?
Well, first of all, I'm Gizz Lazlo.
I'm just Paul.
And welcome to our show.
You know what you should do.
Oh, man.
You know what you
You
should
know
do?
what you should do?
Tell me how your week was. Give me a rundown.
My week was actually cool. My mom came home on Thursday, so my headache started Thursday night. It's really weird having her home after a month of having a house all to myself with my cat and
Bashing it up.
and just having fun recording nonstop a bunch of songs that I've written lyrics to. So get to do it in the living room with the AC on.
I'm gonna take a black light to your house and see how that went.
Please don't.
I know. No, I don't want to.
Don't.
Actually, I'm gonna hire a hooker to do it. A really ugly hooker.
So
That.
your mom's coming. So how was your week?
You know what? I gotta say, I want to say I had a shitty week, but I did not. I had a really good week. I had a couple of really fantastic days, getting a lot of stuff accomplished, feeling good about stuff. I've kind of made a deal with myself to be a lot more forward with people, and it feels really good. So
You weren't before?
well, no, yeah, okay, but in a more of a mean way. And I've been trying to be more constructive. Like, you know what, you suck, but here's why. and I'm setting boundaries, and here's why.
The boundaries thing, I think, is important. That's what women keep telling me.
Christ. So restraining order boundary type thing?
No. No. Hey, open hand ain't a hit.
Oh, come on, Connery. Jeez.
I'm
Buddy.
just kidding. I have no woman to
I'm
hit.
not. Women. It's a mess.
Fuck. Anyway, it's Monday,
It is.
and we're here 25. I think this is show 25.
Is this 25 or 26?
No,
We doubled up
25.
on one.
No, I fixed everything. I looked it up, and I
Oh, it's been fixed.
documented everything, so
Right on.
now everything is where it should be.
And now we
25
are on the
shows.
YouTubes. So
Yes. So
let's go there.
Subscribe and like and all that shit. And at DUPODXAST. So
podcast.
do poop,
No.
not ass.
At Do Podcast. All C's are now X's. Don't write on that with a Sharpie. That's a dry erase board.
Oh my God.
This is getting good. Helmet time.
Oh geez, what are they doing?
Do Podcast. At Do Podcast on YouTube.
Now you do podcast, but the C
X and
is
the
an
C.
X.
This is gonna get confusing.
Very good.
We're gonna publish this to all our channels, and our guest is gonna help us because he's an awesome motherfucker.
And I want to say right off the bat that I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but
You're wrong.
I think Chris Dalley is the first guest that we've ever had that actually promoted himself to be on our show.
So for all the other guests, like, subscribe, hold your partner down. They can do the same. You know what I'm saying?
But okay, so a little bit of history with me and Chris is I think before he gets on and I embarrass him.
Oh, do it.
I think he is the hardest working drummer in punk rock and has been for the last decade or more.
Congratulations.
He's well respected in the scene. I'm proud to call him one of my friends. He's somebody that I wish I could play drums like and had his looks, and I'd be a millionaire. But
his looks?
Yeah, he's a good looking guy.
Well, he's all right. He's looking like a younger Bob Mould.
Wow. No, I can never look at him the same.
I mean,
Sugar. So let's get him in.
3, 2,
All right.
1, go fuck shit ass butt.
Dude, oh my God, Bob Mould, that's awesome. I was just listening to Zen Arcade yesterday. Fuck yeah.
Dude, that's one of my favorite albums in the history of the world.
Me too. Just turned 40 years old.
Oh, is it really 40 now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking shit, man.
That's one thing, like right off the bat, is one of the things I really admire about you is that you love to promote bands. Like, oh, dude, 30 years ago today, this album came out, and you do your top 10 records in 10 days, and you keep everybody like going back to where we came from, and that's, dude, I admire that.
I mean, honestly, if you just look on social media and just see all the crap that people post about, what's going on in the world, I already know what's going on in the world. I don't need to be reminded of what kind of crappy world we're living in right now. I want to escape. And to me, music has always been my escape. Music and baseball.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like that freeform kind of thing, it's an interesting story. Like, being 11 to 12 years old and seeing like album covers, like, Misfits and Municipal Waste and TRI, and it's like, ooh, that's kind of scary. Ooh, what do I look at? What am I actually looking at? It's like satanic. And then you get a track from any of that stuff. You're like, fuck yeah, that shit's amazing. And there's something there that's like, even if it's dark, it's lifting in the current state of things, and it can help drive you and keep you fucking sane and alive, through all of it.
Yeah.
I just like that you keep us aware of where we came from, because without those bands, where would you and I be?
No, exactly. I'm actually, the funny thing is, like, I start writing down anniversaries like November before going to the next year, and I put them on my calendar on my phone just so I could promote them. And I'll go back and listen to them again, and like, oh my God, this is why this record did so much to my soul. It's like, it's stuff that just, it drives me still to this day. It makes me still just a music fan.
Yeah, I mean, the cover for Metal Circus, Who's Scared of Metal Circus cover, it's like, whoa, what is that about? Like, it's intimidating, right? Put the record on. Oh my God.
The one thing, dude, I really respect you for, though, is it seems like in every photo that I see of you in live, or if it's a band picture, you're wearing a fucking 80s heavy metal band. Right.
Always.
Fucking Crew, Def Leppard. Dude, like, you don't hide where you came from.
If it wasn't for Kiss, Iron Maiden, and Rush, and all these other bands, I would not be where I am right now. Kiss was the first band I saw. I saw them live when I was 5 years old, opening with Motley Crue, opening up on the Creatures of the Night tour. That changed my life, and I met them backstage that night, and they were the best dudes ever. As a matter of fact,
so I have the weirdest
back there.
That's
signed by Kiss right there when I was 5.
That was yours. Did you steal that?
Whoa. I thought you were showing us a tattoo. I got my Peter Kiss tattoo.
All right, so I have the weirdest metal fact in the whole history of the world. The largest baseball memorabilia collection belongs to
Geddy Lee,
a singer from a band. Huh?
Geddy Lee.
Who? Yep.
Geddy Lee from Rush.
Geddy Lee is the largest. He has a museum's worth of baseball collectibles.
Really? I didn't even know that.
He has a Honus Wagner baseball.
He paid $130,000 or something for that, right?
Yeah.
Geddy Lee has the most. Oh, he's like, I showed him up. He's pissed.
I am.
Now who's my co-host? Yeah, he has one, and his whole goal is to actually leave those buildings that he has had built as like a homage to baseball. And they're supposed to stay there and be free.
Yeah,
like the guy's a fucking badass, and he sounds like shit.
Are you a Rush fan?
Oh, absolutely. I saw him 15 times.
Fuck, do you like Cohill and Cambria?
I like their music. I respect them. Doesn't do the same for me.
Really? That band actually
weird.
like that for me. And I don't like that prog rock shit. But those guys fucking. To me, they're like a punk rock Rush.
They are. Like I said, just like I heard it. I respect it. I've given it all a chance. I respect the hell out of them. It's just doesn't just hit me as well.
All right, well, interview.
And actually, if we actually want to go there, I
guess I am the co-host today.
Yeah, it's the most overrated band in all of rock and roll. Led Zeppelin.
I will say. Yes, I am.
All right,
that's. But I want to tell you this right now. I think the prog rock of punk rock in my mind is RKO.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, hands down. Yep. Yeah, we agree on that.
Well, yeah. Outside of yourself, and in the drummer sense, and you can go all the way back. Mm-hmm. And I have my own answer to this. Who do you think was the most progressive, fucking hardcore working, kick-ass punk rock drummer that just drove it into the fucking stratosphere?
Bill Stevenson.
Okay, I would go George Hurley, but yeah.
Well, I mean, Bill Stevenson and Lucky Lehrer. I think if you hear that group for the first Circle Jerks record, Group 6 alone, just hear Red Tape alone, and just like but I think what Bill Stevenson did is like he made it night where you didn't have to play 210 BPMs. I mean, Jeff Nelson from Minor Threat was a huge fucking influence on me. Just his intensity. Bill Stevenson influenced me more because he broadened what you could do in punk rock, like would show the surf rock and just good real rock and roll. But I mean, as far as everything else goes, I mean, those three are probably my favorites.
I mean, Bill Stevenson's a saint. Like, he deserves all those candles in the Mexican stores. Like, Bill Stevenson can actually do no wrong. Like, that guy he's never been.
It would have to take 2 candles.
Oh yeah,
one
by
for
far.
I mean, like, he's a saint, man. He's never done anything at all.
Yeah.
Like,
I've never heard about. Well, I don't think I've ever heard a bad story about him.
He's a strange person, I'll tell you that much. I mean, he's amazing, but he's out there. He's out there.
What do you got? Dish. The good, the bad, and the weird.
We were playing this festival in Belgium called Brack Rock in 2022, and I was having a couple of drinks. I was hanging out with my buddy Paul, who's the drummer for Flatliners, and Bill came in. Descendants were playing. I had spent the last hour watching Descendants and flipping off Bill in the sweetest way, just because he makes me so sick of how amazing he is. But he just came in. He goes, "Do you have any juice?" And we're like, Paul's like, "Yeah, I got some orange juice over there." He's like, "Cool," and he like just grabbed it and walked out. And Paul goes, "Hey, bring it back." And he's like, "Why wouldn't I bring it back? Why? Do you want a drink? Do you want a drink? I'll bring it back." So he made us screwdrivers. And like, wow, that was just random.
Fuck, man.
That was random. I loved it. And then
he's like a Bill punk rock.
And then we took a photo after. And Bill's like this. Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, so let's start at the beginning, then. How old were you when you started playing drums?
4.
4?
Yeah, I saw my mom and dad and I were watching.
Started younger than you, huh?
Well, my mom and dad and I were watching the Monterey Pop Festival, and then there was a video of the Who came on, and I saw Keith Moon using no hi-hats like this, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to do that. My son is named after him. My son, his name is Keith, because Keith Moon is my hero. I hope my son lives longer than 32, though.
Yeah, I hope so too. I really hope so too. Although I do believe that Keith Moon died when he was supposed to.
Actually, I think his best friend said it best. Keith was not made to grow old bones.
Yep.
No, he died when he was supposed to, and I mean, he left a hell of a legacy. That's my favorite drummer of all time.
See, not John Bonham.
No,
it's not John Bonham.
Mine was Peter Criss.
Peter Criss is the reason why I did the shuffle stuff. I mean, Kiss was the first album I ever bought. I mean, playing along to Kiss Alive 2 was the reason why I started playing drums.
Oh, I'll forgive you for that. I couldn't be a Kiss fan. It just was so hokey to me.
It's understandable.
I'm a couple years younger than you guys.
I will defend them till the day I die. I mean, but the thing is, I understand it's not everybody's cup of tea. I mean, it's not. It's. I mean, there's the fact that my parents let me listen to that shit growing up. Put your hand in my pocket and grab onto my rocket. You know, wasn't most ideal music for me to listen to at 4 years old. But
and Gene Simmons hasn't changed one bit.
No,
not at all.
No, it's still the Horn Dog 73.
Yeah,
but yeah, Kiss is just that, and that's one of the reasons I think you and I, became so close, is because like 2 different eras. Because you're much younger than I am.
What?
That I grew up with Peter Criss. You grew up with Eric Carr.
Yeah.
You're 46.
Yep. I'm 47.
47.
Yeah.
I just turned 53 a few months ago. So fuck.
So we're not that far apart. It's I mean, you're
this year.
The singer of Implants is 57, so he's in a different league.
Is Ken that old?
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
Fuck,
Humpty Dumpty's that old.
All right, so let's start with your first influences. Your first, obviously Kiss.
Yes.
So you probably started jamming out to Kiss stuff. And then what dragged you down the kind of the punk rock route? Like, where were you in that time? I mean, I'm imagining late grade school or early high school.
It was it was 1987. It was May of 87. I was 9 years old, and my mom was out of town on business, and my dad had tickets to a concert, but he could not find a babysitter. So I went to Fender's Ballroom and saw the Descendants when I was 9, and my life changed forever.
That was it. You were done.
The first song they played was Coolidge. I mean, as a Kiss fan and all those, as a kid in school, I was not cool. And so hearing those songs, I'm not a cool guy anymore if I ever was before. I'm like, whoa, he's talking about me. Yeah. And I became hooked. I mean, that band, and then a buddy of mine went down, who lived down the street, made those mixtapes back in the day, cassettes. Mm-hmm. And the first song I heard that he made me was "Strength" from 7 Seconds. So I went, I'm into this. This is my love.
So when you hear the drum beat on the tempo and like what they were pushing, like did it just like take me? I want to play that kind of aggressive and that big and that like sound.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I took all my influences that I had growing up, and I just kind of made them into punk rock. It's like, when I filled in for bands, going, dude, you kind of like brought a metal edge to our sounds. So like, well, that's where I came from. I came from, those early fucking Kiss records and thrash albums and all that stuff. That's what I got into before I got into punk. And it's like it was a great thing.
Double bass drummer?
I was.
Were you ever a double bass drummer?
I was. I had a Ludwig. I had a 1975 double bass Ludwig drum set, and wow, that was all I knew. And then I stopped playing double bass around 1989, and I just went to just single because I just like, why do I need to carry all this stuff around for? It's too much.
I've always felt bad for drummers. Like, Jesus, that was a bad decision.
Yeah. When I started playing drums, I didn't realize. Yeah, when I started playing drums, I didn't realize. Oh yeah, I have to move this shit around all the time. Bad idea. That's why I get
a rolling drum. That you could just like drop onto the ground and roll it off like we're done. Fuck you.
That'll be fucking amazing.
I've always been a fan of cymbals. I'm more of a cymbalist than a drummer because I have 10 cymbals that I play with.
Symbolism.
The thing is, I mean, I've always like
you could. It would be funny.
I've experimented with like what I've done over the years, but I mean, now it's just 2 crashes of China riding a hi-hat. It's just easy.
I love that you use a China.
Oh, dude, that's when I bring my inner Queensryche out of me.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yes, we actually talked about this last week. Queensryche came up, and I'm a fan, and everyone's like, "Oh, fuck you!" Now there's 2 against 1, bitch.
I saw them.
You can't fight from there.
Yeah,
I saw them open up for Kiss on the Animalized tour in 1985, and they blew Kiss fucking away. They were amazing. It was right when Take Hold of the Flame came out. I was like, "What the fuck is this? This is badass."
Got any comments, Chris? Or are you just looking at Instagram? Okay, cool.
So you lived really like, especially in the last decade, I would say, like endorsements like Peisty and Yamaha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been with Yamaha since 2010, and same with Peisty. And then I've been with Aquarian Drumhead since 2019, and I just signed with London Drumstick Company in 2020. But I mean, it worked out pretty well because I Yamaha drums were just the most durable drums. Even like their starter kits, were like the most like durable kits I ever saw. So that's when I got offered the deal, I said absolutely.
See,
it took you long enough.
That's right there. That's hard work.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to provide a certain amount of work and like go time with all that stuff on stage, right? In order to maintain those sponsorships.
Absolutely. I mean,
so
go ahead.
What was your first band?
My first band was this is 1992, so I was a freshman. Was a band I was into all my high school years. Was a band called we were called 6.0. We graduated to this band called One Track Mind. We were basically I don't know. We were a punk band, kind of. I don't know what the hell we were.
Sure.
Our singer thought he was in Rage Against the Machine. We didn't think we were in Rage Against the Machine, but we were. So yeah, it was a weird thing. I learned what not to do in that band.
So where was
really? Was
this all in Kentucky?
No. This is actually it was in San Gabriel Valley. So Caminos, I played so many fucking backyard parties, in Charter Oak area and all stuff in South Hills.
Yeah, pretty sure I've seen Sixpenny before with South of Money. He's
Yeah,
good.
there
he is.
I guarantee you played there. I played there a bunch. So
we had Slime on last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago we had Slime on.
I haven't talked to Slime. How's he doing?
He's doing really well, man. He's sober. He's
Idaho.
He's Boise, Idaho, and
good for him.
Yeah. Now that he's clean, man, he's just a pleasure to talk to again. So funny, man.
He's a great singer.
The three of us together, dude. Yeah.
I think that guy could pull it off. Everything. It was great. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah. We grew up like blocks apart, and we know like all the same people in my school. I'm like, we went where? What? Fuck. And like,
my dad and his dad were tight friends. They played together in bands.
No way.
Yeah, Donnie Simmons was his dad, and my dad and his dad played a lot together in the. Because I know his dad. I remember his dad always working at Hannock's Music in downtown Covina, and that's like, I'm like, oh, and so that when we first started doing Crime Wave, I'm like, oh, your dad's Donnie Simmons? Oh, my dad's Doug Dalley. Holy shit! So it was like, 6 degrees of separation there. It was wonderful.
Dude, keep telling people, Elliot is actually a smaller town than we think.
It is.
It's this across.
It's always cool to the part that I love about the way we started out is who influenced us to become musicians. That's something I don't think we've ever really touched on is family members that actually were like, yeah, because for me it was my dad was an athlete and a hard worker. He whistled a lot and that was about it. He never played an instrument. My grandfather played harmonica. And he would sit under 120 degrees. Everybody's playing the dirt road with a soccer ball because my dad's, semi-celebrity. Just be over there with my grandfather, just listening and playing. Go, this is what I like. And then when I got into Kiss, that was it. And 12 years old, 13 years old is when I started making the dream happen.
Well, that's the weird thing about it is, I don't think you guys know this, or I don't think I've ever told you this, is that the reason why I got into punk rock is my dad was the bass player for the Dickies. So, he played bass on the Killer Clowns from. He played bass on the He played bass on the Killer Clowns from Outer Space record. His name was Lori Bunny. He wore bunny ears.
So now we have to have your dad in.
I don't talk to him anymore. I don't talk to my dad anymore. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
But that's how. That's one thing I will always love is that that's the reason why I got into punk rock, and then the reason why I've never been shy about what I've always been about and who I love and all that stuff. I'm a proud Kiss fan, but I'm also a proud punk rocker. Even during the times in 1991, 1992 when punk rock was dead, I still wore it loud and proud, even though I got made fun of and got talked a lot of shit to.
Well, yeah. So 1992, I got to ask you a lot of the guys that are close to my age. You remember the Summer Nationals at the Palladium?
I was there. I was all 3 nights. $6.
Yes, sir.
And the saddest
part was 5 or 6.
It was $6, and the one thing I'll take away from that thing was, it was amazing the whole 3 nights, but the last night, I remember NoFX had no fucking chance after SNFU and RKL.
Nothing, and that was when shit went crazy. I was actually
fucking way.
No way. I was actually sitting with all the guys from SST. We all went together. I was working at the Superstore at the time, and I was sitting there with Keith and everybody. Let's leave.
Do you remember the other?
Yeah, which is oh my god, Bomber. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That
they
album,
oh my god,
incredible, man.
Boz's drumming.
The drums on that album.
Another guy. Every time I hear him play, I flip off my radio. I'm like, God damn it! What the fuck was that?
Dude, that's some of the most amazing punk rock drum work I've ever heard recorded.
And he will not tour anymore. He's basically he's a tech now for Mad Caddies. He will not. He has anxiety. He will not play drums live.
Really?
Yeah. Which is a shame because he's so fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm. But he's also an amazing singer, an amazing bass player. Amazing
I know. Jesus fuck. I know.
Do you play guitar?
Do I what?
Do you play guitar?
Oh God, no. I mean, I could play
Same
chords, here. but I can play like chords here and there. But I can't play a song. Like I can play a song what I think it sounds like. But you're like, what the fuck's that? Are you playing? Polly Wally Doodle? I'm trying to play a Lagwagon song. I'm playing like to you. It's like fucking. I don't know. It sucks.
So what was the first band that took you into the wing and you recorded with and started what is a legacy?
Well, my band Lightweight was doing really well at the time, and then we were opening up for Pulley at Chain Reaction, and Jim Cherry, God rest his soul, saw me play.
I love
him and his wife actually went outside because he had just got fired from Strung Out, and so he talked to me after the show, and we started playing Zero. I started Zero Down with him. I wasn't in the band that long, but that's kind of how I got my name out there. Because with him, I got the gig with Temple Pole because of his recommendation. And I tried out for Aquabats, which was a little awkward, so I couldn't do that band. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. But it was because of him that basically I got my name out there because he was he believed in me so much. I was with him. Him and I were friends until the day he died. I talked to him 2 days before he passed away, and it was like he was my biggest cheerleader. He's the guy that he was a big dude, but a big heart, and that guy's got the reason why I got in the door.
I did. I totally agree. That guy was just such a sweetheart. If you loved him, you loved him. If you hated him, you hated him. But
the best part was that he decided that if you loved him or hated him, he decided if you wanted to love him or hate him. And with me, he opened his heart up to me and he loved me. And my mom and dad, my mom especially, and him were really tight friends. And so it's I pretty much owe everything to him. And I talked to his widow all the time, Wendy. We're still good friends, and so it's without him, I wouldn't be where I am right now, no doubt.
That's so cool, man. I can't say enough good things about
story.
him.
It's a great story.
Oh. That's the thing that I love about punk rock is that's how we get to where we are is because of the friends we make. And if you're on the road, dude, you get to meet your heroes.
Yeah, and I can actually count on one hand of the punk rock bands I met or artists I met in the punk scene that I met that left a bad impression on me. I can count them on one hand. That's how awesome the scene is. The scene is I've met many more. To me, I think one of the best dudes ever alive is Byron, the drummer from Pennywise, who might be he's out of his fucking mind, but he's fucking the nicest kid ever. But it's like that. That's how our scene is. We take care of each other. We want to see our scene flourish. And I think that's why we love it so much. It's the best. It's the best thing in the world. Until you're actually a part of it, you will never understand it.
I think that's one of the overwhelming messages that I've heard. Also, like interviewing everybody, I've seen so many people on stage so often, and been to so many shows that it seems like there's kind of a background family going on. Even if there's a little squabble here or there, there's still kind of a natural way to kind of just quash that. And everybody's getting along, everybody's doing it, an inside view to it, and being able to be more of a part of it. It's been a lot of fun to see how much of this has just grown over so many years. Really from the late 80s, I would say 87, 88.
Yeah.
Up until the 90s, early 2000s. Really has fostered this amazing ability for everybody to jump in together and just kick ass and do your thing, and floating in and out of bands, and just everybody kind of just having that, the kind of well, we're still gonna fucking do it, right? So let's just have a good time.
But also the as musicians, we always have that where if a band needs you, you're there. Like
absolutely.
I remember in 2011, I was jamming with Jim Blowers, and we had this little thing, little side project going on with Chris Dalley or with Chris Del Rio, and which was the original Screw Tape. And so I got to know Jim really well. And then that year I joined Freeze and we went over to Europe, and Strung Out opened up a few shows. And lo and behold, the first show we show up, I walk in and I see Jim on the guitar.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
Well, and he comes first thing I told him, what, did you get dumped down to fucking guitar tech? And he goes, Gizz, what the fuck are you doing here? And I go, I'm drumming for the Freeze, and you're guitar tech for Strung Out. And he goes, no, one of the guys couldn't make it, so I'm filling in for the tour. Like, see, that's what I love about our scene is that,
and that's the best thing. Is, I mean, you see. I mean, like we just came back from Europe, and like we were playing with some bands that we knew, and I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm filling in for this band. Oh, shit, I didn't know that. Awesome. And I mean, so you see all your buddies like, okay, I've hung out with you more in Germany than I have in fucking where I live. I live 10 minutes away from you. It's like it's amazing. I mean, and it's funny, like we. Oh yeah, see, there you go.
Like me and Carl Alvarez, we've been friends for years and years, and every time I'm in a band and I tour Europe, and Descendants are playing, fuck, I'm gonna go down the block and go see their show. It's bigger, and I always run into Carl, and he's outside, smoking or on on his phone or whatever, and I walk up to him, hey, what's up? And he's like, dude, do you stalk me? What the fuck? Like, I see you all over, like everywhere I'm at, you're at, like, what the fuck?
Yep, that's the way it is. I mean.
Carl Alvarez. No. Oh.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
All are Descendants.
Ooh. Well, I have to go with Descendants here on my first.
Which all?
If I had to pick my favorite all era, it would be Scott Reynolds. Just something about his voice. I love Chad Price too. Chad's up there, but I mean Scott. I think Scott was I loved everything that Dave Smalley did, but I mean Scott's the one I really got into all, and so it's always that first love. It's that first love. I think one of the best songs ever written is a Chad Price song. I think Silence is one of the best songs ever written, pop punk songs, which is the final song off of Mass Murder, I think. And it's like there's just songs that just boom hit. They tug you at the heartstrings right there, and that song does it for me. But yeah, it's very. I mean.
To me, I don't know if you've ever heard this, but the way that I look at all is that with Dave Smalley was more the singer that wrote songs about losing the girls and never getting them back. Where Scott was more of I lost or whatever.
Yeah.
And Chad was more of I've lost you and I'm in despair.
So we've got one of each fans here.
And that right there is what made me, because that's all I write now is heartbreak songs from that standpoint. It's like,
well, Dave Smalley, Dave Smalley for me I will always just when I look, I mean, of course he's probably the most famous known for Down by Law, but what I will always equate to him is Can I Say record from Diagnostic, which I think is one of the most amazing records of all time. When I hear that and I hear Dave Smalley singing, when I hear Dave Smalley, I think of Can I Say? And it's that album just still stands the test of time. I think it's one of the most amazing records ever written.
Very true.
Yeah.
I'm a Smalley fan all day long, but I mean, there's other records to put up that high.
True. I mean, like I said, I mean, there's records I look at from certain periods that I think are like top notch. There's records I think, okay, had that record been released 4 years earlier, it might have been my top 10. Who knows? It's just I think it's where you are. I think it's where you are at the time.
Here's a question: are you a song guy or an album guy?
I'm an album guy.
Yeah.
I I love the idea of just putting on back in the day, and still do. I have a record player, putting that needle on the record and just going off into another place. I love that idea of just records of like, if a record can take me to another place for a good 45 minutes, I won the lottery.
Yeah. So favorite full album. Like, let's go back really far. Let's go back 1976 to 1999. If you had to in that period, what would be an album that like seriously you would just sit down and go, I'm gonna listen to this entire album?
Wow. This is being really put on the spot here. So 76, you're saying 76? Okay, well, if it's before that, I would say
just deal with that basic.
All right, if it was before that, I'd say 73 would be Quadrophenia, but that's me.
That's a fucking poster on my wall. Yes.
I already know the answer to before 76. After that, I don't know. I think Sabotage from Black Sabbath is one of my favorite records of all time. I love that. That's probably one of the heaviest, most doomiest records they ever made. I think.
Oh yeah.
I have to say,
80s
as far as goddamn. Milo Goes to College.
Where do you put Search and Destroy?
Ooh, Search and Destroy. It's up there.
That's way up there, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, when I hear stuff like, I'm totally just nodding like this.
Yeah, that's the whole part. It's just supposed to nerd out on this. Gizz, what do you got?
Mm-hmm. I want to listen to him.
Well, I mean, as far as like metal, like there's like metal records. I think I just talked about this the other day. I think Ride the Lightning was one of the best Metallica albums because it showed what amazing growth between Kill 'Em All to that album. I think that album is a fucking brilliant record. I think Persistence of Time from Anthrax is a masterpiece. I think fucking, but as far as like punk rock goes, I mean, I could listen to Against the Grain any day and just be happy.
So if you had to put Against the Grain up against No Control, what would you do?
Against the Grain.
All right.
He just said
he didn't say No Control though.
Well, no, I love No Control. I love that record, but Against the Grain, I think maybe just at the time it came out, it reached me more. I think Walk Away is one of the most brilliantly lyrically written songs of all time. I think Against the Grain, the song itself is just, it's taking you on this like little adventure, and it's like building up and building up and building up. It's all fucking palm muted. It's just taking you on this fucking crazy fucking place. It's awesome. And so that's why I think Against the Grain just hits me a little bit more. What's up?
So we get into the 90s. Let's get into the 90s, like the early to mid late 90s. What do you got there? That's where I think for all of us, it got really fucking fun.
Yeah. Well, I think RKL, Riches to Rags, is musically, oh my God. I think Unknown Road from Pennywise was, I think, an album you can't touch. I think Punk and Drublic is fucking brilliant. You go to fucking other things like the Fat Records era. I mean, Trash from Lagwagon is up there. Another Day in Paradise from Strung Out, the first record. It's Tempo Pole Rev is
my favorite
fucking record.
Tempo Pole record. My favorite Tempo Pole record is the split they did with Satanic Surfers.
Satanic Surfers. Fuck yes, I agree. Gnarly Charlie is an amazing song. Holy moly. Yes.
One of my favorite bands in the 90s, fucking Dead Lazlo's Place. Jesus
dude,
Christ.
So I don't think I've ever told him this, but the first time I ever heard Dead Lazlo's Place was on I had heard the band, but I had never heard them. And the first time I heard them was on this thing called the Fearless Flush Sampler from Fearless Records. And I went, okay, and it stood out from all the other bands that were like, it was Bigwig, Blunt, White Caps, all those bands that were on that label at the time, Drunken Public, Glue Gun, all those things. Dead Lazlo's Place stood out to me above the rest because it was like, it had the metal attitude that I loved. And it was not, Bigwig had that a little bit, but it was not like, Bigwig was a little bit more goofy. And I was like, no. And so, I mean, Dead Lazlo's Place, I mean, I remember that sticking out, like me and my friends going, whoa, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this is fucking awesome. It was fucking street rock at its finest, I think.
it really was fucking like it's like it pushed, and this is the last time I'll ever help you go out again. It was the acoustic on
hanging by
the throat. I was like, what the fuck is this, and who the fuck is singing it? It sounded like it was a beautiful blonde-haired surfer guy, and it's fucking not at all even close. I didn't realize this was a Bristol fucking under there.
Well, but there is one band I'll tell you right now that I do get a lot of flack for, and I mean I don't care about it, but I mean especially me coming from the '80s punk rock scene and all that stuff. One band I think that kind of got overlooked by bands that came from the earlier generation was AFI. I think Black Sails in the Sunset was one of the most amazing albums ever written, and I think that they don't get enough credit. I mean, they did change pretty radically, pretty quickly, but when you hear Black Sails, I remember going, this album is perfect. Like that album would not leave my CD player for like 5 or 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
They had hit the nail on the head with that one. I mean, they changed, of course, but you know, it's like I like bands that actually progress and actually don't do the same album 10 times in a row. Some bands can do it and get away with it, you know, but sometimes some bands just can't do it.
So you blast your way out of high school, and what's your next band after high school, and where does that go?
So that was the thing. Was like I get the Jim Cherry thing, and I joined Temple Pole because of Jim Cherry. I was in Temple Pole. But the problem was when I joined Temple Pole, Dennis, who had taken over lead vocals and was a guitar player, he had just became the sound guy for Prince. And when you're working for Prince, you're on call 24/7, and so. He couldn't commit to anything. He could like do a show here, a show there. We had supposed to be a 2-week tour of Japan. We ended up just doing 2 shows because he had to be back in time for Prince. The whole Temple Pole thing was kind of like just. I think we did 40 shows in 10 years, in the time I was in the band, and so I joined Dead by Stereo in fall of 2006. Which was not really my thing. I've never been really hardcore into the hardcore scene, but they were different than any other band at the time because they were melodic as well. Which I need melody in my life. You know, I mean I love In Your Face, but I need melody, please. And Ephraim is great at doing melodies. And so I joined that band. I was in the band for almost 3 years, and then I stopped. That's why I joined Crime Wave, just because that was the first time I had never had something ready to go. And so I joined Crime Wave for a little bit, and then I got a call. I don't know how he got my number still to this day. Eddie from Voodoo Glow Skulls calls me and says, "Hey, our drummer had a nervous breakdown. We're on tour right now. Can you fly out to Detroit tomorrow?" And I said, "Well, I only know your first 2 records. So, are you just doing the first 2 records by chance? Because then I could do it." And that was that hard no. So I basically was learning. I was already learning the songs, playing on my food tray on the plane. And I joined the band. I played my first show that night. I had literally a cheat sheet on my hi-hat stand saying, "Okay, fast punk beat, slow ska part, fast skanky part." That's what I wrote. And so
I did that for the UK subs, man.
It works. I'm telling you, it works. I ended up doing that for a few years, and in the meantime, I love the diversity of playing with Voodoo Glow Skulls, but being in a band with brothers is not fun. Just the mind games, it's not fun. And so I had just started doing implants with Jim and Robin Del Rio, and I really missed playing that fast punk rock. So I said, you know, I'm kind of tired of this, and so I left the band and I started doing implants, and I got in Pulley, and you know, I filled in for a bunch of bands. I filled in for Strung Out, I filled in for Face to Face, I filled in for Pennywise, and it's been very just right timing because they know that I'm going to do the songs how you hear on the record.
That's how you got the Mercy Music gig, huh?
That shit was not easy.
Just one show.
I did 3 shows, and that was not easy because that band it's simple music, yes, but it's the hits. It's like you like hit on the end of, or you have to like do it to follow the music, and it's not easy. And that they became my favorite band last year. We toured with them with Unwritten Law, and if I took away from anything about tour was that I got to meet my favorite band, Mercy Music, and I love that band to death.
All right, I got one. It's sports related. How cool is it to play with a major league pitch?
Oh, that's the coolest thing. Is like as a baseball fan, I loved talking sports with him. I played catch with him one time, and I don't think he realized that. Hey, I'm not a major league baseball player. You don't need to throw the ball that hard.
We're talking about Sky Radinsky, who was singing in a couple of different punk bands. It was probably the first time that Vince Scully ever said the word punk rock, especially on the fucking air.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, I was at the game at Dodger Stadium when he played, and to hear on the radio, because everybody back then had their radio, because we wanted to hear Vince Scully. And
540.
He said, "Singer for a punk rock band, 10 foot tall." Wow.
Yeah,
Vince Scully just actually said.
Did you guys get in touch?
We played. I think the third or fourth practice we played catch, and I'm like, dude, I don't throw the ball 80 miles an hour anymore, please. My hand hurts. If you want me to play drums for your band, I'll gladly do it, but you don't need to throw it that hard. We're not at Dodger Stadium. We're in Simi Valley. Just chill. But I mean, God, that dude is like
20 feet.
Have you kept in touch with him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've been worse. He actually is now. Here's the best thing. So he stopped doing baseball for a while, and that's why I kind of said goodbye to Pulley, because to me, Pulley's a part-time band. We would play from September to February because that's when baseball was. Then he stopped doing baseball for a while, and it was Authority Zero and Pulley were starting to conflict each other. So I kind of just like said, okay, guys, I just want to remain friends. I don't want to like fuck you guys over anymore. So we remain friends. And so Scott and I talk all the time, and he started doing baseball again, but now he's actually in Amsterdam pitching coaching for a baseball team in Amsterdam, where he makes as much money as he did in the major leagues, but they have 4 days off a week, and he's in fucking Amsterdam.
Does he need an assistant? I mean, after 20 years.
I don't know. He's stoked. He's just stoked right now. Cause I mean, he's, yeah, I don't blame him either. So, and the thing is, I think him and I bonded immediately just because we had that mutual love of both baseball and punk rock. I mean, that's where and he knows when you're full of shit too. If you're just like saying things just to say things to get on his good side, he'll know when you're full of shit. And he does it in a very polite but very kind of dickheaded manner, like, oh yeah, you're really punk rock, you fucking douche.
Right?
Yeah.
Like everybody does to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, what's up, Steak and Wolf? What was the first band you went in the studio with?
The first band I went to the studio with was this band Lightweight. And the funny thing about that is that we went to the studio with Cameron Webb, who is now this guy who's done Ignite. He did the last 5 Motorhead records. He's done the last few last Pennywise records. We were his first band out of a school, out of a recording school and we were at Time Bomb Studios with Mike Nessa's studio. And he remember, and I just recorded with him in April with Authority. We just did a new EP with him. And he goes, I remember this guy got dropped off by his mom because I had totaled my car the day before. So my mom dropped me off. And to think of like, this is the guy who did the last 5 Motorhead records. And I have so many fucking Lemmy stories. Oh my God.
Oh my God. So when was that actually?
That was 1997. Like the first professional studio I did that was 1997. I've done home recordings, and we the Tascam 4 tracks before that, but this is like the first time I was in a real studio with a fucking control room, and it was amazing.
Where's it? It's here.
The Tascam. Hey,
where's the Tascam 4 track? I literally have one in here so I can listen to my first demo. There it is. This is funny as fuck.
Oh my God, there it is. There's that baby.
Like $99 in 1995 or something. Like, oh my god, I gotta save my dollars for that shit.
Oh yeah, that was allowance money.
Yeah, well, I didn't get allowance money. We were not on the right side of tracks for that one.
Yeah.
I grew up closer to Eric Simmons. You know. Oh, I hope he's listening, watching.
Hopefully he's not in jail.
Hi, Slime.
Oh, that would be
Yeah. Hi, Slime.
God damn it. Slime.
Slime time, yeah. It's slime time, definitely.
Oh my god. All right, so you got your first studio thing down. When was the first tour? Oh, now we're signaling the bartender. When was your first like tour? Like not like we went to Fontana or I drove to Pomona.
Yeah.
Or,
All right. Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you my first, and the best part was the first story. The first tour had the biggest story for me. Was we were touring. I was in a band called Second Chance. We were based out of La Puente. And we were touring. It was the first time I actually had left.
I remember.
We actually went all the way to Texas, and so we were playing Texas, and we it's July, hotter and shit. And I remember like we were going from Houston to San Antonio. It's almost pitch black, and our van broke down. And this is back in when cell phones were Zach Morris brick phones, and you had to find the right signal. And we called the band we were on tour. They went, "Hey, our van broke down. We need help." Okay. Well, we're parked over here, but you have to walk across this like field. And it was like this tall grass field. This is July. So I have my backpack, my cymbals, and my pedal, and I'm walking across this field. Our guitar player thinks he hears a fucking snake and jumps on my back and makes me piggyback him to the fucking van. Now, no. So I carry him all the way across. Next day, I mean, yeah, but trust me, I had a plan in my mind. So the next day,
go on.
The next day, we are getting the van face, and so we're walking around, and our guitar player, who I carried, is asleep in the van. We're walking around this in the middle of nowhere, and I see this dead rattlesnake with the head and the rattle cut off. I'm like, well, this is way too good not to do. So I pick it up with a stick. I had one of those egg shakers in the van. Put it right over his fucking head.
You're a genius, motherfucker.
It worked.
And that probably still smells like pee and shit.
Oh yeah, of course it does. But I mean, it's funny because like you know I'm 47 now, and it's like you'd think that my stories would get less boring now that I'm older and I'm married with a kid and all that stuff. But no, it's actually gotten kind of funnier as time has gone on. I mean, I just dealt with white Crips in Oklahoma City.
Wait, what?
What are they called? Whips?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. No, I'll tell you the funny thing. So here's what happened.
What is that whip?
Is there a whipper pole or they dance?
A whipper pole.
Oh my god!
Like, I told you somebody's just getting deep and nasty.
Yeah,
and I think the whips get pretty deep and nasty.
Well, we played a show in Oklahoma City, and usually Oklahoma City is Oklahoma City, but it was actually a really good show that night. And so my guitarist and I like, let's go to a bar because we had a day off the next day. Like, so let's go to a bar and have a few drinks. Like, yeah, sure. So we're hanging out at this bar. I'm about 3 gin and sodas deep. I'm feeling pretty good. These 5 white guys walk in, and it was like that movie. There was like that scene in Weird Science when they walk into the black bar and the music stops. It's kind of like that, where like the air was sucked out. The air was kind of sucked out of the room, and me and Brandon are going, "Why is everybody fucking scared?" Whatever. So we went back to talking, and they walk over to us about 5 minutes later, and they go, "You got a problem?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "Do you know who we are?" I said, "No." He goes, "We're the Crips." And I like kind of like went like this. I'm like, "But you're white and you're wearing all black. You're Crips." He goes, "Yeah, you got a problem?" And I put my drink down and went, "Here's the deal, dude. I'm from California, bro. They really are. This doesn't scare me." And
actual gang.
This doesn't scare me. This doesn't scare me, bro.
Yeah.
If you would have done this, I might have been scared.
I don't care if we go over for 4 hours. I have got to hear the rest of this fucking story because I would have been there. I would have been fucking dying.
Well,
oh
so
my God.
They kind of mad dogged me for about 10 seconds and then they walked away. I'm like, wow, that was, and I think what they saw, I think what the rest of the people in the bar saw was that we weren't scared. And like, obviously these guys are posers, you know, they're not real people like that. So we just hung out for a couple more hours. And then my favorite part is my guitar player. We're walking out, we're about to leave and go back to our hotel. Our guitar player, Brandon, who's like 5'5", he's a tiny guy, but he's doesn't give a shit either. The guys are right there. These whips by the front door. And I swear to you, he goes, "Hey guys, please just stop watching Straight Outta Compton." And we left.
I had a similar story with somebody once. Called me boy a couple of times. I said, "How many times have you seen The Departed?" Don't call me boy.
Yeah. Boys play with toys. My name is Sammy. I play with your mammy.
I didn't have to take it that far. I didn't have to take it that.
I heard that in junior high school from a kid who somebody was messing with him, and I just happened to be walking by, and there's bullying going on, and the kid came up with that. I was like, wow. Mental note. Still, here we are.
So we're getting on the end. I'm totally willing to go over on this one because this is a fucking amazing conversation. I do have a couple of questions. If you could, and I already know the answer to this, living or dead, be on stage with any band, playing any instrument, doing whatever you want, who would it be?
Who?
There. Drums?
I would love to go up there and play drums and play Keith Moon's parts.
Oh my God.
I would.
Dude, that would be so.
And the best part is, I mean, Zach Starkey is doing that. Zach Starkey's dad is Ringo Starr. His hero was Keith Moon, and he plays he plays that shit just as Keith Moon would, a little bit more controlled, but he's doing justice to what those songs were, and I think he's fantastic.
Do you practice those? Do you sit and listen to those and do that and like do the left foot lead and go and run with that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I will to this day I will if I don't care where I am, if in a bar or in a car or anything like that, if I hear Won't Get Fooled Again or I hear Behind Blue Eyes, I will play those fills because they're just so ahead of their time, and you hear that shit, it's like going, oh my God. I mean, I will mouth the drum fill. You know, it's like
that would probably be the best blowjob in the history of the world if you met. I'm like, anyway, so if I hear 515,
this guy's been to jail way too many times.
It
was on the same day.
No,
because you wanted to go back and get more.
No. If I hear 515, I cannot help myself but just start to belt those lyrics out like that. Like Quadrophenia is probably one of the top 3 albums ever created in all of time, and that goes against every classic, every blues, everything. Like that's fuck. Man.
And I mean, I'm sorry, but like when an album is that, I mean, because it's a double record, and the fact that album that long. And the way they close with Love Rain Over Me, and the fact that you want more after you hear that song, because just it leaves you such like, I mean, I have fucking goosebumps talking about that right now.
There you go.
That it's Love Rain. I mean, that's just a testament to fucking Daltrey's power.
Hell, you're white.
Yeah, I'm white.
Dude, Daltrey is one of the greatest vocalists. Like, and I read the stories about like you can't do drugs, you can't drink, you can't smoke, and like I put him in a corner. Like your vocals are more important than your happiness. And like I can only imagine that when he got knighted before fucking Pete Townsend, he was like, "Fuck you, suck a dick, bitch." Like fucking there you go. I'm gonna go get fucking high. I'm gonna get some hookers. I'm gonna smoke 800 cigarettes. Like there's no way he couldn't have felt like that.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, he got put in a corner like a quick one while he's away. Fucking amazing games.
And why? I mean, did you guys hear the whole story about the whole rock and roll circus? What about that thing? What happened? Like they Rolling Stones refused to put that out because they were so embarrassed that they had to go on after that.
Yeah, they're like, fucking son of a bitch.
Oh, watching Keith Moon just throws his floor-tom behind him. Like, yes,
and still kept.
I don't need that tonight. Kind of like you bitch.
And I love that Keith Moon's wearing like this one-piece glitter outfit Like brilliant. I mean, yeah, that is a piece right there. That is a piece of history. Watching that quick one lies away. It's brilliant,
dude. I mean, oh, dude, that whole thing. So I think we're just gonna fucking run over. I don't give a shit. So, what's the worst tour moment you've had? Like something like you were in a position, and you can say I don't want to talk about this. Like the one time you're like, I'm gonna fucking quit and walk away or murder somebody. Which one was it?
Well, when our van and trailer got stolen in San Antonio, I was up there. Our van and trailer got stolen in San Antonio. Our van and trailer got stolen in San Antonio. That was my drum. Yamaha just made me a brand new kit, and it was 4 days old when it got stolen.
Oh.
They found it 6 months later. They raided a drug dealer's houses in the backyard.
Oh, was it ruined as fuck?
No, it was in the cases. The guy didn't even open the case. I think my practice pad was on my rack tom stand, just as I left it.
Oh my god! So that was
your weed was still in there.
So we never even actually got to we never got to Authority Zero. So you guys have just put out new stuff, right?
Yeah, we have a new EP. We have a new EP coming out in the fall, along with a new Implants record, which it's probably the best thing I've ever done in my mind.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're fucking Bistro.
Well, I mean, we did a backwards process, and where I actually recorded my drums last.
Oh, really? To the click, huh?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So what happened was Authority Zero was touring, and we had written all these Implant songs, and so we tempo mapped everything. They did guitars, bass, and vocals after, which was great for me because I actually got to write parts to guitar solos and to finish lyric ideas and finish like fucking scat. So I got really a lot more freedom to do what I wanted to do. Awesome. So I got done with that in 2 days, and I was like the proudest thing I've ever done. I can't wait for everybody to hear this record. It's coming out in October.
That's a fucking statement. I mean, Authority Zero has always had a little bit of a ska influence.
Yeah.
Oh. All right.
So, show them the patch.
All right. Oh, okay.
So we went to Punk Rock Bowling. I bought this patch a couple of months before. Somebody hates ska. I bought a patch, waiting for him to put his cut down.
I can't see it. What is it?
Scod for life.
Scod for life. While he was not looking, I safety pinned to his cut.
I had just finished playing the main stage at Punk Rock Bowling, and my drum tech, which is one of our producers here, he fucking, I get my cut, and I was about to put it on, and I was just, what the fuck is that, dude? I had a UK sub sticker there, or a patch, but it just fell apart, and I know I had a blank space on my cut, and I was like, why is there a fucking patch on there?
You reached out and you filled a safety pin. Like, what the
fuck
is that?
When I saw the safety pin, I was just like, I don't put patches on with safety pins. And I look and I go, Scott for life. And I look over at my drum tech, and he just goes,
who did it? Who fucking did it?
But you have to you have to give him credit. That's pretty ska authentic.
We're best friends in the whole world right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. Our guest was, but I have to tell you, so in the last,
Lazlo has been fucking canceled.
you know better than anybody that I'm not a fan of ska. I'm more of a fan of songs now than I am of bands. So there are songs that catch me. In the last week, since we knew you were coming in, I'm doing my research and everything, and I keep coming back to a song that I don't want to do. I really like, and that's "Summer Sickness."
Yeah,
and I'm just like, dude, this is a fucking ska song, but it has ska parts in it. But I love the song. The horns in it.
I think what happened was like the band. When they first started, they were trying to mix all these kind of things. I think we've kind of grew out of it. We have moments there in our band now where there is ska elements, but we try not to make it just ska. It's more of just like a rock thing with the ska element of it. And I think that's what kind of draws people to the band is that we have all these influences that we have like, there's Latin roots in some of our songs. There's all these like things that we do that I think, it's crazy like how people, we have, I kind of like, I hate quoting this because I'm not trying to compare us to Motorhead at all, but let me say it the best. It's like, we don't have the biggest fan base we have, but the fans we do have would kill for us. And that's the way it should be. And people love us for our catalog, not for one song. They love what we do and what our band's about. And that's what, I'll take that. The fact that people will love the fact that we change our set every single time they come see us play. We'll never do the same set twice.
That's fucking
technically
cool.
Authority of Zero is kind of a Mesa, Arizona band, right?
Correct. But you couldn't pay me to live there.
Dude, you know what? You couldn't pay very many people to live there. So I
They gotta pay me to tour there.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to get more than one. Gin. Made right now. It's custom. Horrible.
That's how hardcore we are over here, man. We got bartenders.
So I'd like to have more than one of you guys on the band in there, because I want to hear some of the stuff I was reading about you guys looking up is there's a Portuguese influence. I'm like, I want to hear more about that. Is that a language influence, or is that a Portugal, from Portugal influence? I'm very interested in how the sound has evolved. And I mean, I love this sound anyways, but I want to see how well you guys can explain it to assholes like us and the British.
Well, so the original guitar player, Bill, who he's not been in the band for a long time, but he's still a good friend of everybody, including myself. He's a sweet guy. He loved Spanish and Spanish flamenco guitar and all that stuff. So if you actually hear the first two records, there's a lot of that kind of influence there. Portuguese and South American kind of stuff. So he loved that kind of music, and I think he brought that to the band. We're also kind of it was trying to implement that. I mean, you can't really just do Spanish guitar and put it in a punk rock song. You could do Spanish guitar and put it in kind of a ska song or a reggae song and make it work. I think with the members that have transformed over the years, we have tried to basically give props to the past, but keep looking forward. We are, that's one thing I think we have always tried to do, is not be Authority Zero from 2002. We're giving props to it. You're seeing signs of it, but we're not trying to make that album again.
So if you had to cite a ska influence, new or old, I'm into late 50s, early 60s ska, and then also Selector, Madness, and all that stuff. If you had to cite some influences from ska as a wider view, what would you kind of throw out there?
If I was gonna tell somebody, okay, I want to hear a really good ska record, I would say put on the first Specials record.
Yep.
That album to this day blows my mind. The musicianship is so fucking brilliant on there. It's loaded with harmonies. It's a brilliant record. I think that's one of the best records ever made too.
Yeah, I mean, I run into Too Much Pressure by the Selector, and then Baggy Trousers by Madness.
Great album.
Shit. Yeah. Gizz is lost. Gizz is lost right now.
The only
totally lost.
The only ska band that I've always said that I like is Bad Manners.
Bad Manners is shit.
You can't go wrong with Bad Manners. Bad Manners are amazing.
I was in a ska band that I did a tour with in '89, I believe, and they were the headliner. Donkey Show was the middle band, I believe. No Doubt.
Yeah.
Played a couple of, but I was in a ska band called the Israelites, which is a Christian ska band.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I call bullshit.
Learn something new every day.
And I hated it, but I got to hang out with Buster, and that guy was just the coolest fucking guy. We went to a pizza joint after the first show of the tour, and he ordered 2 pizzas. So I was like, fuck yeah, this guy's badass. He's ordering for everybody. The 2 pizzas came, we
for him.
Wham! Just threw the other one and just I'm like, fuck, I'll get my own piece then, I guess. Shit.
Chris Dalley, I have a question for you. Do you know the chorus to Lip Up Fatty? Lip Up
what?
Fatty, got the chorus to Lip Up Fatty by Bad Manners.
I
lip up
hear
fatty, you gotta lip up, do the reggae.
Yeah.
The reggae.
Yeah.
Can you do that in Cartman?
I can't do it like that. No, I can't. I can't. Here's the thing. I could talk like him. I can't sing like him.
I challenge you to learn that.
I remember the first time I heard that one dude the first time I heard that one guy play acoustic guitar, and he was just doing covers of songs, but with the Cartman voice. I saw him. I was like, dude, I got to send this to Chris, dude. Dude, this is amazing, dude.
You give me any chorus in Cartman. Any chorus in Cartman.
No, he's got to introduce our show like that.
Oh, actually,
that's what I'm trying to do.
Here's what I swear to God, everybody goes, what do you think about Smashing Pumpkins? You mean Eric Cartman with the alternative band?
I'm telling you, dude.
Peed a little bit. Well, we know where we're gonna get our fucking actual intro song from now. Carmen singing fucking 40 ounces.
Oh my god!
I'll do it.
So you
I'll
got
do
like
it.
40 ounces.
Oh my god, dude!
I will get it down. I will get it down.
We will find like children's instruments at like Toys R Us and do a Cartman version of 40 ounces.
Well, try to find a Toys R Us first.
Oh, look, I can rob kids. I don't give a shit about them. Well, like, we can keep going. I don't even give a shit. Like, but I do want to do this again. I want to get a commitment from you and some of the guys in the authorities here, because I know there's a big change in like the newest album that you guys have done. There's like, it got a little bit more reggae, it got a little more interesting, it got a little more diverse. And I really enjoyed listening to like, okay, well, where's this gonna go? And I want to hear more. I want to see where you're up to. Like, this sounds fantastic.
Well, yeah, we're coming. I mean, we have. Well, we're coming out. We're coming out with a new EP, and I think it's coming out in November. And with Cameron Webb doing it. But dude, I want to go on the show, come on the show again, and just go over there and hang out with you guys in person.
Dude, please, do, man. Please do. One thing that we do that's interesting for you is that every guest that we have in studio, when they leave, they sign a baseball for us. And we have a collection of baseball that every guest that's been in studio has signed. We have a big old
baseballs.
We have a big old bucket of, official fucking baseballs, and we make every guest sign. And they're like, dude, I've signed a lot of shit, but I've never signed a baseball. And it just the look on people's faces when they're signing it, man, it's just like.
So, what a message to the show, a message to the populace, or whatever the fuck you want to write on it. Little signature, throw us on there, and we're gonna build a shelf and have them all behind us at some point. And if we ever get popular, we're probably gonna do some kind of a fucking raffle auction, something for charity to get all these things out. Maybe get buy them.
Or just
you never fucking know.
We can lend them to the Punk Rock Museum in Vegas.
No, not those fucking dicks.
No, I agree. I agree with you right there. Not them.
Tequila Mockingbird.
What?
All day.
All right. So anyway.
So what? Like off camera, when we get done with all this stuff, I want you and Gizz to like do a thing. We're gonna send you a baseball, and you are just old enough to understand a self-addressed stamped envelope.
He lives up the fucking street.
It's fucking.
Is it COD?
He doesn't trust himself to be here in between us.
Is it COD?
You know how,
no, you got to be here.
You know how we get. He's got a family and a reputation.
Fuck that.
We ruined that in one night.
Absolutely. I do it on the. I do it on the daily.
What are you watching it for?
Your mom.
All right, Chris, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you, brother.
It has. Let's do this
You
again.
guys too.
Let's get the rest of the band in. Or somebody else from the band in as well, because somebody's going to make fun of you.
Nobody can make fun of you. And one more thing from the bottom of my heart, man, everything that you've touched has improved the music. And what
Thank you, man.
What you do, dude, you do it from the heart. And it's just you're one of my favorite fucking drummers. You're going to be one of the future legends, right up there with fucking
Bill Stevenson.
Well, Bill Stevenson and one of my favorites, Earl Hudson from Bad Brains. Your footwork comes from that. No denying.
The first Bad Brains record alone.
That's what pushed punk drummers to the next level.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Oh wow, that's something new. You can play double bass with a single pedal. What the fuck? Yeah. But dude, I admire you. You're one of my favorite people in the fucking world. I love hanging out with you.
Likewise.
Thank you for
love you guys.
Show, man.
Thank you, man.
Dude, come on, like if you're ever in downtown, like near downtown, Northeast LA, pop up. Call, come on in. I'll share my scooter collection.
This guy. He's got like 100 fucking Vespas.
Nine. I got 9 scooters.
900 Vespas.
9.
It only works.
If you guys do any recording with the 30 and you want to drop a single, I'd love to throw it on the show and drop it for you guys.
I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Like, let's plan right now. I'll be back home in October. Let me go out there and I'll premiere a song from Implants and Authority Zero.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. You're on.
It's on day.
All right.
Let's do it.
Book it right now.
Let's plan it out right now, man.
It's on, dude.
All right. So,
All right, guys.
I'm Gizz Lazlo.
I'm just Ball. That's Chris Dalley. We're sending you a baseball and a return envelope, buddy.
And
Yes, please.
look us up on YouTube.
Subscribe
and like our shit. And
do podcast.
And next week, I misquoted myself last week. I forgot who was going to come on, but next week we have Tim Jameson from Ultraman in, and one of my favorite fucking bands growing up. But once again, Chris, thank you for coming in. I love you, brother, and take care of you and your beautiful family, and be safe on the road.
You got it, man. You guys take care. It's a wonderful time.
All right, brother. All right.
Cut.